Jaguars, protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Yeah, hey, the Jaguars are going to move to London, and they're going to say all the right things that they're not going to leave Jacksonville.
Donna Deegan and the Jaguars have reached a deal on renovating the stadium.
It's official. I survived.
This is a historic day for our city.
We're thrilled that, we could turn that goal. It was a goal that Shad had and that the community shared to keep the Jaguars here in Northeast Florida for generations to come. This evening, we've turned that goal into a reality thanks to the mayor and her team.
We had a timeline, and we wanted the Jaguars to be able to get to that owners meeting in October and be able to present a good agreement.
It's a beautiful day in Duval County, and I'm excited to share it with you.
1010XL 92.5 FM presents Jaguars Today with your hosts Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark.
All right, welcome in, everybody. That day in October arrived yesterday.
It did.
And apparently they put together a package that would pass muster, Tony, as the NFL put the final seal of approval on the Jaguars in the city of Jacksonville building or renovating. It's going to feel like a brand new stadium, but doing the renovation 32-0. It passed yesterday in a season with very little to have any joy about when it comes to Jaguar football. I tweeted it out yesterday. I think it's simple. Bad football is better than no football.
For sure.
Good football is better than bad football. I realize that. I'm not saying you have to accept this. You have to pay your hard-earned money to go out there and support this team. If you don't want to, that's your choice.
No doubt.
Right? Nobody's saying that.
And now you have the choice still. For
You
the
have
next
the
30
choice.
years.
Right. Yeah. So you have the choice. So welcome back. Did you enjoy your day off?
I had a day off, yes.
Well, rumor had it that you were emotionally reeling from the Baldwin beatdown of Wilson.
No.
42-0. Was
nothing
that
like that? No.
Yes or yes?
That's
No.
what Pockets was saying.
I get it.
Pretty strongly.
Yeah, the Wolfson's never been all that strong a football team, so I'm
Okay.
not surprised Baldwin could handle them. 42-0's 42-0 though. That's a beatdown right there. No doubt about that.
Pockets, you got a little lean going on. I'm looking at you in the corner of the old YouTube video, man. It's like I feel like you're John Oehser taking a selfie over there. We out
There
you.
we go. No better.
No, that's not much better. Square that bad boy up, man. Everybody wants to see Pockets, man. Coach
up.
Pockets, who helped lead the 42-0 beating.
The beating,
Of
yeah.
the Wolfpack. But that's taken care of now. You had your day to get over it.
It does, like with everything that's happened the last few weeks, and obviously our area has gotten lucky with the storms.
Yes.
Right? The last 3 weeks with everything that's going on. But it does feel like yesterday was a bit of that eye of the storm moment for the franchise. Right? Like the weather's nice out for like 15 minutes. We get to celebrate a little bit. The sun's shining above our heads, and then we see the wall coming back at us, right? Like eventually we have to get back into 1-5, quit, fragile, all these different terms
all
that
the
have been
buzzwords
that have been thrown out this week. We have to dive back into that, but for at least a few minutes we can enjoy, the sun is shining above the storm that is surrounding us right now. We're going to be here for the next 30 years, so celebrate a little bit, then we'll get right back into all the carnage that's going on field for the team in 2024.
Exactly. And look, most people took my tweet in the way it was intended yesterday. It's less than 1% had issue with it. Somebody tried to make up some quotes and throw quotes around it, and then I swiftly threw the block down, Tony, because that's the way I roll. But honestly,
that's just
you can have, if your opinion is, hey, I was not in favor of this because I don't believe in the city putting in money for a stadium deal.
It's your prerogative.
That's your prerogative. The city does own the stadium.
Yeah.
You can look at it like, hey, Shad Khan is putting in a lot of money to upgrade a facility that is owned by the city of Jacksonville. Right. So, however, personally, I think we've made our point of view very clear on this. I want the Jags to be here in Jacksonville for the long term. This locks it in.
It does.
I would suspect for the rest of my natural life, Tone, I don't think I'm going to be one of those guys like Guinness Book of World Records. He had a terrible lifestyle, but here he is at 114 years old. So, as far as I'm concerned, and hopefully many more generations after that, you know what? We'll worry about it in whatever year that in 2050, we'll start talking about ripping this one down and building one on the dark side of the moon or wherever we're at that point in time.
I'm not looking forward to those conversations, but I'm glad we get to have them that far down the line.
We're only going to give away one game to the dark side of the moon per season, though. Okay, just we may play a second one there, but it's going to be a road game.
It's a tough trip to get up there and back.
Now it is.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe not so much.
When we're in Mars, like when we've colonized Mars between now and then, maybe it's a little easier.
A waypoint, a way station on the way. So anyway, let's just hear from a few of the principals yesterday involved in this. Don't worry, folks. We'll drag you right back down into the morass that is current level Jaguar football here today as well. Doug Peterson already spoke this morning, so I'm sure you're eager to hear what the head coach of your 1-5 Jaguars had to say, and we will bring you those thoughts.
Or didn't
say, correct. John Oehser will join us from across the pond in hour number 2 coming up to give us the latest there. But we'll start with the owner of the Jags, and was asked yesterday, and John Oehser was part of the folks questioning the trio of Mr. Khan, Mark Lamping, and Mayor Deegan, and Shad Khan asked how much of a landmark day he feels this is.
I would say, and I'd be quoting Wayne Weaver here, okay, because when the deal got done, Wayne came over to MEC, and, he was saying that since this is the second most important day for the city, first being the day they got the team, and now this is not only a stadium, but really reaffirms the confidence everyone has in Jacksonville and the Jaguars being there.
By the way, for those who don't live at the facility, MEC is just the Miller Electric Center.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Mark Lamping speaking yesterday as well, obviously, and he said, it's just an awesome day for Duval County to get this thing officially done.
It's an awesome day, for the city, for our fans, for the Jaguars employees. Would not have happened without the commitment and the belief that the Khan family has in Jacksonville. This doesn't happen without that. The mayor showed incredible leadership. The city council was very strong, and a lot of stakeholders throughout the community supported this. And sometimes we even forget about the impact that the community benefits agreement is going to bring. So, this development will touch all corners of Duval County.
And then, of course, the mayor herself, Donna Deegan, weighing in on this, and just weighing in, saying it's an amazing feeling. She's proud of Jacksonville.
Well, it's so funny. I was thinking about it earlier, how from the night sitting on that anchor desk, watching us get this team to this moment where we have the opportunity, where I have an opportunity to be a part of keeping this team in Jacksonville for 30 years and creating this incredible space for downtown. It's an amazing feeling, and I'm so proud and grateful for Jacksonville. It's an amazing night.
All right, well, there you go. Again, we kind of knew it was coming, Tone, but it's official now. There's none of that, well, it still could go. It's done. It's coming. The renovation's coming. It'll feel like a brand new stadium, and hopefully it'll feel like a brand new football team well before that time arrives, right? I mean, we don't want to sit here and go, oh, we're going to have terrible football for the night. You still got to take care of your business, and to the best of your ability, have the right people in place to make the right decisions, put the right people on this roster, to coach them the proper way, and to be receptive to that coaching and capable of going out there and performing at a high level. So nobody's saying you have to accept terrible football for the next few years. You can feel however you like. But again, if it is terrible football, it is better than the prospect of not having a team. I had several people yesterday in my timeline saying, I was a St. Louis Rams fan. Now I'm a Jaguar fan, or I just was a St. Louis Rams fan, and how I would love to be celebrating like a 4-13 team. I'd tailgate the hell out of a 4-13 team right about now. And, look at somebody mentioned the Oakland A's. It's devastating to a fan base. It's not coming back.
Yeah.
If the Jags ever do depart Jacksonville, it's going to be a long time in the future. Who knows what the world will hold, but you can't imagine a second opportunity for this market.
No doubt. But they don't have to worry about second opportunity anymore. They've taken advantage of the first one as well as they can, and we're going to get 30 more years of it, thank goodness, right? And the timing of it, as I said, it's nice to have a few minutes to just go, something nice happening around the organization, and now back to it.
Our man Al Stewart on Twitter at ScarabY2K says, I see you, Mike. I see you. I don't know if he's literally seeing me right now because I'm wearing his shirt today. So if he is literally seeing on the YouTube virtual studio, I am wearing the Sun Never Sets on Duval County shirt today, wearing it proudly. Duval Pride Worldwide. It's still your team, right? Duval till you die doesn't mean Duval until we're 1-5.
No.
Right? I mean, and I get it. And I try to let a lot of that roll off my back, Tony. I'm done with this team. I'm thinking to myself, really?
Nah,
this is what's broken you? I mean, through all the things, you've been here before. You've been worse than this. And, you know.
It's probably never felt this bad, though. I'll give fans
combination
that.
of expectations with the disappointing results. Fine.
Yeah.
Whatever the case may be. I will give you some grace that you're going to be upset in the moment. But, you know, the whole I'll never spend another dime. All right. It's not going to hurt me.
Yeah.
You know, it's honestly really not going to hurt Shad Khan all that much. They want that revenue, but the value of that franchise grows exponentially.
It does.
You know, if he ever wants to cash out, and I see people, we need to take up a collection and buy this team from Shad Khan. Good luck. All right?
Get that approved by the league. What are you talking about?
Well, they're like, let's do the Green Bay thing. Right. You can't do it because they made a cutout exception for Green Bay. It's like grandfathered in. B, there are not enough firemen's boots in the world to collect that money a quarter at a time. And C, or 3, or whatever we're on, Shad Khan has to want to sell the team to you.
Yes.
And it doesn't strike me as the kind of guy that's like, now that he's in this club, if Shad Khan didn't own the Jags, you wouldn't know who Shad Khan is.
No.
At all.
No.
There are a bunch of Shad Khans out there. I say a bunch. There are enough billionaires that run successful companies and businesses that we know nothing about.
Absolutely.
Never heard of them.
Yeah.
They can walk right by you. You'd never know, except for the fact that they're wearing much more expensive clothes than you are. Al, that's not a shot on the T-shirt. I love it. And they should go for $99.99 if you were to sell them. But Al's not that kind of guy. Or maybe he is. I don't know. So today, Tony, on social media, we got the question of the day out there presented by Chad and Sandy Real Estate. And, of course, Roy Robertson Harris was dealt this week for a future 6th-round pick, a 2026 6th-round pick from Seattle. Now that Roy Roberts, is gone, who, if anyone, will be the next Jacksonville Jaguar to be dealt by the November 5th NFL trade deadline? So we'll discuss that today. We'll hear what Doug Peterson had to say at his midweek press conference from London. What's the mood of the team feel like to Doug and everything else as they prepare to take on the New England Patriots this weekend? You can be a part of the program, 641-1010 on the Garber Auto Mall phone lines or on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Hit us up in the YouTube virtual studio chat as well, or on the X or Twitter platform at MD_1010XL, at 1010XL Fat Tony, and at 1010XL Denmark.
Ain't no laws when you're drinking claws, baby.
The king of Baldwin, Dylan Denmark, ladies and gentlemen, the king of high school football here on the First Coast. All right, let's get into it. We'll hear from your head coach, Doug Peterson, on the other side. And even at 1-5, I feel a sense of relief, a sense of happiness that the only opportunity you have to see good football is to see football. And you're going to see football for a long, long time right here in Duval proper. Even though the sun may never set on Duval County, we're keeping it right here at the home base. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Dylan Denmark here with you. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today.
For the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios at 1010XL. With the best picks and win a pizza party from Salvatore's Pizza at Tapestry Park. Pick the worst. You'll still win some pizza. Just not enough for a party. The 1010 Weekly Pick'em Contest is brought to you by MyBookie.
You pick 'em.
At 1010XL.com.
If you suffer from constant burning, tingling, or numbness in your hands or feet, it could be a serious condition called neuropathy. I'm Dr. Nathan Riddle, DC with Riddle Wellness in Ponte Vedra. Neuropathy is treatable, and we have seen great results by using state-of-the-art, non-invasive therapies to target damaged nerves, reduce symptoms, and improve nerve function. Call 904-395-5598 to schedule your free consultation today and learn how you can live pain-free. Call 904-395-5598.
Now, the Randy Marion Cadillac Drive of the Game. Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville. Drive to the game in luxury with Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville.
Facing a deficit going into the second half, Jacksonville would look to make a statement and get back in the contest. And thanks to an 11-play sequence led by Trevor Lawrence, capped off by a Gabe Davis 21-yard touchdown, the Teal and Black would make the score 21-10 in the third period. The 70-yard drive is your Randy Marion Cadillac Drive of the Game.
Hey everybody, Jennifer Marion with Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville here to say hello, and we'd sure like to have your business.
You know what? They're going to love the king of price.
My dad believes in making great deals and having a great selection in stock.
Cadillac XT4s, XT5s, and XT6s, and Escalades.
The all-electric Cadillac Lyric.
CT4s and CT5s.
Cadillac luxury and selection is just waiting for you.
At Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
And don't forget, tell them Jennifer sent ya.
Want to be up close and personal with the Jaguars as they take the field? Here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called The Vault. Enter today at everbank.com/shadows. One winner and a guest for every home game at Everbank Stadium. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents in 50 United States and D.C. 18 and older. Entry periods for the Shadow Sweepstakes promotion from 8/19/24 to 12/15/24. For official rules and complete details, visit everbank.com/shadows. Sponsored administrator, Everbank NA, member FDIC.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday on Jaguars Today. Awaken 180 Weight Loss, your long-term solution for weight loss.
Guys, don't suffer through this season with prostate, bladder, or kidney issues. Ackerman Urology has 4 convenient locations with advanced urological care to improve your health and vitality. Visit AckermanUrology.com.
This is Chelsea with Renewal by Andersen Custom Windows and Doors. Here's what people are saying about working with us.
Installers were professional, courteous, and efficient.
Great customer service. On time, explained the process, and walked me through the installation. Amazing team.
Our experience with Renewal by Andersen was outstanding from the beginning to end.
Renewal by Andersen, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit rbafla.com.
License number CGC 1527613.
Renewal by Andersen, custom windows and doors.
Good teachers and coaches get the most out of their scholar athletes. That's why 1010XL salutes the Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
And the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234.
Wednesdays on The Frangie Show.
Hey gang, Prosser here, telling you once again about Chad and Sandy Newman. Mortgage rates are down, creating more active buyers and sellers. If you've been waiting, now is a great time to sell your home before more homes flood the market, driving down prices. So maybe you want guaranteed no-hassle home sale, but don't want to give up hard-earned equity to do it. They can handle that. You see, Chad and Sandy can take every problem you think you have and replace it with a promise. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. The success stories are rolling in. Mike and Lisa in McCormick. We inherited a family home that came with equity but also a mortgage. We needed to sell fast to avoid extra expenses on a second mortgage. We heard about Chad and Sandy on the radio and called. Everything they say on the radio is true. The home sold in 3 days for full asking price. Call Chad and Sandy today, 904-414-6200, or go to chadandsandy.com. That's Chad, ANDSANDY.com.
This is Hayes Carlion for Skylife Elite. Have you ever thought about aircraft ownership as another potential revenue stream and as a tool for tax savings? Put your tax money to work for you while enjoying the benefits of private personal travel. Skylife Elite has over a decade of experience in business aviation and can guide you through the process with their expert staff. Call my friends over at Skylife Elite at 490-9332 or find them at flyskylife.com to get the rundown on everything owning an airplane can do for you.
Bold City AC, heating that rules.
Is your AC ready for the holidays? Bold City Heating and Air ensures your AC stays in tip-top shape. We know that a clean AC is a healthy AC. Upgrade yours for just $96 a month and enjoy free duct cleanings with your new system. Plus, ask about our 0% financing options.
Bold City AC, we got the crew. Bold City AC.
Visit boldcityac.com.
Hayes Carline here. If you're like me in the fall, you want to watch football, not clean. Enter Molly Maid, voted Bold City Best Cleaning Service 3 years in a row. Molly Maid is reliable, friendly, and thorough. Visit mollymaid.com.
Ever wonder how you can transform your living spaces into captivating works of art? At First Coast Lighting and Fans, they offer a huge selection of high-quality products to match your desire for elegance, quality, and uniqueness. Visit their showroom on Phillips Highway at the Avenues and step into a world of quality without compromise. Discover the difference that locally owned expertise makes and let them help you experience the transformation from average to extraordinary. At First Coast Lighting and Fans.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Dylan Denmark, Johnny O on the way in hour number 2. Doug Peterson speaking this morning in London addressed a question that I think is interesting to hear about. What's the mood of the football team right now, Doug?
They're disappointed, but they are excited about. There's 11 games left, and obviously, we just got to focus on one at a time and prepare this week. But the guys are in a good mood today.
11 games left.
I mean, they're excited, Tony.
Yeah,
it's an opportunity.
I'm
11
glad.
opportunities.
They're out there. They're practicing hard this morning. All right.
Right. I mean, the practice apparently is not the issue.
Apparently not.
They do well at practice.
Uh-huh.
Doug says we practice well. Andre Sisco says don't care about practice. That's what he said, basically, right? He's like,
essentially,
he goes, practice, all that's well and good, but we're not bringing it here on game day.
It's the 11 games left that throws everything that's happening right now with the team kind of into this weird kind of flux, right? Like, I'm not saying it's unheard of for a player to say what Andre Sisco said with 2 or 3 games left in a season where everything is off the rails, everything's in play, who knows who's going to play, who knows who's going to be here, what the plan's going to be when we get to the offseason. There are 11 games left. They played 6, and one of the players on the roster was willing to use the Q word when talking about teammates and himself coming out of a game this week. And Doug was asked, reacting to the Sisco stuff, what's going to happen with any of this? What can he learn even from making these comments?
Yeah, Andre is obviously a really good leader on our football team, and look, sometimes, and I'm guilty of this too. Sometimes, you say stuff out of just emotion, right? And it's hard to not say something, right? But again, I go back to what I said the other day. I just don't think he meant anything, demeaning by it. He's not pointing the finger at anybody. I mean, because he's in that boat as well. Just like I think we got to continue to, just press forward. And he obviously will learn from this, and his teammates will rally around him. They're not looking at him any different. They want him to perform and play, and that's what he'll do.
Look, I just don't agree with you're not pointing fingers at. You're not naming names. You're not pointing a specific finger. You're pointing a general finger in the direction. And in some ways, and I get it, this is beyond what most players are willing to say. They're not going to get up there and go, number whatever was really jaking it out there, or so-and-so by name is doing it. But by saying this, and then not putting a name to it, it makes you wonder, who's he talking about?
Yeah.
Is he talking about this guy? Is it all of them? They all
It's why they never
come under
say
a
these
cloud.
kind of things.
Exactly.
Like, it opens the door for all this, and everyone's like, well, who's he talking about, and why is he saying it in public right now? Everyone has the exact same reaction when they hear it. It's like, he said what? Who is he talking about? Right? And I can watch the plays and see what Devin Lloyd did on that play and think, yeah, Devin Lloyd was lollygagging around on that play, clearly. That led to that first touchdown of the game. Is that who he's talking about, or is he just talking about the whole room? We do not know what the answers to any of that kind of thing
and
are.
is he mad because the guy Devin Lloyd was kind of jogging after is the guy who trucked Andre Sisco, Cole Kmet? I don't know. Somebody pointed out on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, Jags need some Allen Iverson attitude in terms of practice. We talking about practice. No, they don't. Allen Iverson earned that attitude. Even for him, that was a little bit beyond the pale. But Allen Iverson always showed up on game day and played like a superstar. If we had a team of guys showing up playing like superstars, we'd be like, heck with practice. Yeah. Whatever's going on, it doesn't really matter, right? We've seen teams that are on the surface dysfunctional come together, and on game day, in whatever sport, they put it all behind them and they go out and play for the glory of winning a championship and making more money and whatever. If we had guys playing like that and making those comments, sure, that'd be one. And I don't think Andre Cisco was saying he was saying, like, oh, that's well and good, but it doesn't matter if you're not backing it up on game day. So I'd love for us to have some Allen Iverson earned attitude if we got to the point where we had some superstars to be like, hey, man, whatever he's doing, that's the right thing. Whatever, and like if you're a guy like that, Tom Brady, Tony, was, what did he win? 7 of them, right?
Yeah.
And would take off in the offseason, and if it wasn't mandatory, he wouldn't necessarily show up. And it was hard to argue with the results. Well, he needs to be there for the install of the offense or whatever, to build chemistry with his pass catchers. Oh, they're winning the Super Bowl again.
They win.
So does it really matter for them? In terms of Andre Cisco, Doug Peterson was asked this morning, has he had a conversation with Cisco about what Cisco said after the game?
I have not. And quite frankly, sometimes I don't feel like I need to in those situations, I just think the team and just give him a couple days to process, and he was much better again today.
And look, the problem is, to me, is that it takes a lot for a player to say that, right? And he even kind of caught himself, how do I want to say that? I've got to be careful. And then he still used the word quit.
Yeah.
And it doesn't change what he saw that led him to that conclusion. So, okay, he'll learn not to say that. Okay, and I get it. Okay, the saying it isn't the bigger issue. The question is, are you seeing it? Is that what they're doing?
Yeah.
And what can you do to change it at this point?
I know we've had a lot of fans that have expressed a lot of their own consternation with Doug Peterson for the last year and a half, basically, right? With the way the back half of last season ended, going through the offseason, the way the first 6 weeks have gone for this football team, I don't think I've ever been more frustrated listening to him talk than I was in that moment. What are you talking about? You haven't talked to him. What is that? That is nonsense.
I mean, it's like the buzziest story around this team right now.
The whole country is talking about that if they're talking Jaguars football at all.
Right.
That one of the guys in that room, every other NFL locker room is now aware that you have a guy on your team that is willing to call out everybody for being a quitter. And you haven't had a conversation with them about it? What is that? Like, it's whatever hope I may have had 2 minutes ago for them pulling themselves out of this to whatever degree they could, it's gone. Like, if the head coach is going to handle these kind of things this way, it's gone. We're all kind of on the same page as to where we think this is eventually going to end. But I don't know how in the world a football coach can have a player say something like that 5-6 weeks into the season and say, no, I don't need to have a conversation with him. What are you talking about?
Yeah, somebody on the text line saying Peterson also didn't talk to Carson Wentz for an entire year. Are we surprised? I think that's a different story. Like, there was a clash. I don't get the sense that he has any personality clash with Andre. He just feels like, oh, this is something that the locker room, like when Andre's around his teammates, there's going to be enough by osmosis of
if that was the
these
extent,
guys saying, hey, man,
right.
Are you talking about me? Shut your damn mouth.
If that was the extent of the conversation the coach had with him, hey, save it for the locker room.
Right.
If that's the extent of what he had to say to Cisco about it, that would be fine. Then say, yeah, I had a short conversation with him. We're good. Right? You can handle it that way, but no, haven't had a conversation with him. Don't feel like we need to. What?
Well, Bush Drive Rich saying, look, maybe he doesn't want to talk to him because he doesn't disagree with him. But it doesn't matter.
Doesn't
you're saying. You don't hear Doug Peterson going up there and going, yeah, my players quit there in the second half. Like, it's such an extreme word to use in sports that even if he agrees with me, he can say, hey, look, man, I understand your point of view. It's a concern of mine as well. We're going to address it, but let's keep this in-house. That's what the conversation is. It's not like, how dare you say that they quit? How dare you have the opinion that they quit. If it got to the point where he had that opinion, what he was seeing had to be pretty bad. Now, was he emotional in the moment? I don't know. He was,
I get it.
But
Yeah.
there's a cool down period.
There is.
And he wasn't still in his uniform when he said this, so he showered, changed his clothes, thought about it, hesitated when answering, and still used the word. So it's one of the worst indictments you can have. Hopefully it's the last time we hear of anything like that, but it's not acceptable. And I'm with you, Tony. I don't understand how you don't have that conversation with Andre Sisco if you're Doug Peterson.
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. All right. Let's take a time out here. We'll come back with more from Doug Peterson on the football side of things as opposed to the mental side of things, if that makes sense. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Dylan Denmark. If you want to get in and join the conversation, 641-1010 on the Garber Auto Mall phone lines. This is 1010XL 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here. Hey, look, it's cooling down a little bit, right? It's very nice outside right now, but you know how hot it can get in Northeast Florida. And when your AC goes out, you need help immediately, like now, like right now, like Lickety Split. Call Lickety Split and get same-day emergency service for your air conditioning. They handle your home's plumbing and electric, too. They're local, family-owned, and operated with a huge fleet of techs and trucks to handle your problem correctly and quickly. For quality and care, call the hair, 4.8 average on Google reviews. Go online to licketysplitfl.com.
Jaguars
Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Let's start the debate. Why would someone buy a new car from you? We have an exclusive 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty on every new vehicle. We offer a competitive wow price plus free oil changes. How much will someone get for their trade? We offer more than $4,000 over KBV value. Well, we never lose a trade over price. Okay, when is the best time to buy a car? Right now. Ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't matter which side you pick. At Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet, you get it all. Let us show you why we're the winning vote.
Is an injury keeping you on the sidelines? Whether it's your shoulder, neck, back, knee, wrist, or ankle, don't let pain hold you back any longer. At Injury Care Centers, they offer the same high-tech treatments trusted by the pros to supercharge your recovery without surgery. The road to recovery starts the moment you pick up the phone. 904-783-0008. That's 904-783-0008. Injury care starts at Injury Care Centers.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and GIA-certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold, silver, and diamonds from the public. Gold has recently hit an all-time high at over $2,300 per ounce and hasn't seen this level in over 13 years. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold for cash and get top dollar, or trade it for a new piece and get even more value at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday
on Jaguars Today.
Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Get off the ladder and put on the helmet with Gutter Helmet of North Florida. We are family owned and manufactured locally. Cleaning your gutters is a dangerous and dirty job. That's why with Gutter Helmet, you'll never clean your gutters again. Water goes in your gutters while trash and debris go on the ground. It won't collect like filters do. Gutter Helmet protects. Call now for 10% off and a free gutter cleaning and tune-up with your purchase of Gutter Helmet. Call 904-762-7779.
Roof damage? Call before you claim. Green Law Group, fighting insurance companies for you. They will work for you when you have roof damage. Don't let your insurance deny you. Don't call an adjuster. Call Green Law Group at 904-302-7055. Remember, if you have roof damage, call Green Law Group before you claim. They've settled millions and will work hard to get your claim and new roof. Green Law Group. Call before you claim. 904-302-7055.
It's the blog players put their pads on for.
So we won it, we got to bring it.
My thoughts and observations on our home team. That's what I share with you every week on my blog.
Roland Reach Plumbing brings you Hayes Blog on 1010XL.com.
Hey folks, this is Dave Benyon with my son Ammon here from Zero Res. Ammon, you've been cleaning air ducts for a while now. What are some of the reasons customers might consider getting their air ducts cleaned?
There are many reasons. Many times, people suffer needlessly from poor indoor air quality produced by the conditions in their air system. Construction dust, the presence of bacterial growth, and years' worth of buildup all come together to make your air ducts a pretty gross place. If you suffer from allergies, have recently moved, recently remodeled, or have never had your air ducts cleaned, then now is the best time to call. By calling Zero Res, you'll have the peace of mind of knowing that you called the best of the best. Our state-of-the-art truck mount system and top-of-the-line service representatives simply can't be found anywhere else. Google Zero Res and read thousands of 5-star reviews.
So what kind of deals can I expect?
Just mention that you heard us on the radio, and we'll give you $100 off your air duct cleaning.
Wow, that sounds like a pretty great deal. Remember, folks, Zero Res,
spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
CEROREC. Zero Res.
I'm Frank Frangie for Ricketts Electric. Hurricane season is here, and now's the time to think about a home generator. My friends at Ricketts Electric can make sure your home always has power. They can install the perfect generator for your home and are even offering a 10% discount this month if you mention 1010XL. So call my friend Zach Ricketts today at 904-320-5960 or find them on Facebook. That's Ricketts Electric, the city's best power connection. Call them at 320-5960.
Atlantic Self-Storage, the official storage partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Need to make room to watch football in your home or need a place to park your boat or RV? Store it all at Atlantic Self-Storage. Over 50 locations in Northeast Florida. 24-hour access, all with month-to-month leases. Moving? They can help with supplies. They make storage easy. Go to AtlanticSelfStorage.com or call 877-WE-STORE to find a storage solution near you. Go Jags!
If you know about artificial turf, you know it needs to be done right. Lauren Brooks here from my friends at Sunshine Turf, a family-owned company that will transform your outdoor space into the oasis of your dreams. A putting green, a pet run, a maintenance-free yard. Trust me, the team at Sunshine Turf are the experts you need to transform your lawn. With the highest quality products and budget-friendly pricing, get clean, low-maintenance synthetic grass by visiting sunshineturf.info or call 904-383-0243 to get a free quote today from Sunshine Turf.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
NFL owners voted unanimously on Tuesday to approve the Jaguars' $1.4 billion renovation of Everbank Stadium. Jaguars team president Mark Lamping on the stadium passing the NFL owners' vote.
It's an awesome day, for the city, for our fans, for the Jaguars employees. Would not have happened without the commitment and belief that the Kahn family has in Jacksonville. This doesn't happen without that. The mayor showed incredible leadership. The city council was very strong, and this development will touch all corners of Duval County.
Jaguars team president Mark Lamping, courtesy of Jaguars.com. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, more Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
One of the things we need to be is a smarter football team, right? As far as just eliminating some of the mental errors, some of the mental mistakes. It could be penalties in a game, it could be mental errors, and things are going to happen, don't get me wrong. And football is football. You're going to get beat from time to time. But don't beat yourself.
Oh, Dougie Doug. By the way, update from Al Stewart. Shirts knocked down to $99.95. So 4 cents off. Operators are standing by, but there's no number attached, so I can't pass that along to you. So there you have it. Actually, I've got a box or half a box of them still to give away at some point or other. It has to be happier times. You know what I mean? Maybe we'll pair them up.
Or it'll get so low that it's like, here's a little bit of sunshine.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but we're
getting there, though.
We got some dusty Victory Monday shirts already piling up the dust. And we need to be a smarter team, Tony.
That's it.
I mean,
that's all that needs to change.
I don't understand. You're going to be held accountable. Like Bill Belichick would hold you accountable, right? But you'd hear about these stories where they put a play in July
Mm-hmm.
and wouldn't practice that play, and then they'd send it in, and Tom Brady would call it, and they'd execute it for a touchdown.
Make the play.
I mean, I wonder, is some of that hyperbole? I mean, that seems like, with so much focus on we're game planning, we're repping these plays this week, and we never go outside the bubble of these plays. Is that really realistic? I mean, are those guys so much smarter than the rest of the league that they remember a play that they haven't practiced in 3 or 4 months?
I think the Jacksonville Jaguars did essentially in that playoff game against the Chargers. They didn't practice that play on 4th down.
No.
Right? Like, that was something this is the moment. We're pulling it out right now. Everyone needs to execute right now. We win the game if you execute it right now. And they did. Right? It's the bright, shining moment of what we've had for the last couple of years. But right now, it's nothing but clouds and lightning and thunder. Like, there's just nothing there. I get it. They need to be smarter. It's all bad right now, it feels like.
Dovetailing with the need to be smarter sentiment, need to be tougher mentally and physically.
The other one is you want to be physical. I think it's mental and physical toughness. I think it's a mental grind. It's a mental toughness to play in the National Football League. Each week, these players go through a lot. They put their bodies through a lot, and they're sore, and they're hurting. And so being a more physical, mental and physical, from the standpoint of being a physical on the field football team.
You know what else is hurting? Every other team in the National Football League. Mm-hmm. You're all playing. You're all getting the same bumps and bruises. Yeah, it's easier to deal with when you're winning, but it's still pain. It's still, it's still a mental grind for everybody. You can be 4-1, 5-1, and it can be a mental grind. It's a long season. Yeah. And these other teams, there are no excuses. Everyone's ahead of you right now. I mean, it's not a surprise to hear this, but what an indictment.
Yeah.
To say we're not mentally tough and we're not physically tough. If they were, you wouldn't even have to address it like this. We have to be physically tough out in the field, what we do. We have to be mentally tough, in overcoming. And as Trevor Lawrence used the word fragile repeatedly the other day, we can't be a fragile football team. The fact that we're talking about this kind of thing is, I mean, yes, there's a lot of player responsibility. This is why I put a lot of the responsibility on the coaching staff. How can you create an environment where your team is what's the opposite of mentally tough? Mentally weak, right? I mean,
I don't know what else it could be.
What else could it be, right? Yeah. Non-physical,
fragile
finesse.
is a pretty good description for it, right? For this football team especially. We talked
Not
about
resilient.
Right. We talked about it on Monday. Coming out of that game, they have that opening drive. They go down. This is a team that is so fragile right now that a drop touchdown on that first possession is enough to shake them up, right? We had to settle for a field goal. Oh, no. Right? Like, this team right now is fragile enough that that's enough to shake them up. Having to settle for a field goal on a drive where a guy could have had an opportunity to catch a touchdown pass.
Right. And they still got it back. They got it right back immediately, all right?
Right.
You got a lead. You got the ball. Now go get the touchdown this time.
They are making really basic football situations into giant mountains that they cannot cross right now, and that's a combination of a bunch of different things. It is the quitter stuff that Cisco's talking about, and it is the fragile stuff that Trevor Lawrence is talking. It's the combination of all these things and the toughness and the mentally, and all these things are all coming together where any adversity they face at any point in the game right now, I expect to see them crumble. That's what I expect right now because they've shown me over and over and over again that that's who they really are.
Which is why I sit here today. I have a hard time thinking I'm going to pick them to win this week.
I'm with you.
I just don't have confidence in them against any opponent at this point in time because they're not just battling the Patriots. They're battling themselves mentally. Yeah. They're battling the mistakes, and every team's going to make them.
Yeah.
Right? Every team makes mistakes.
I don't think the Patriots are any good, but I also don't think they're all in their own way all the time about everything that's – they're basket cases about football on the field. It's crazy to watch.
It's like you said, there's expectations for this team, and then when it starts getting off the rails, I think it snowballs a little bit, and the pressure mounts. There's no pressure in New England this year. They just started Drake May for the first time this weekend. You know, that there's no expectation for them to be anything other than one of the bottom dwellers in the National Football League. So when that's the case, You can play free and loose and let it all hang out and
whatever
see
happens
where the chips
today
fall.
happens.
You can always fall back on, hey, it's all about the development of Drake May. That's what this season is about, and it truly is in large part.
No
but
doubt.
that doesn't mean they don't want Drake May to go out there and have success against your team this Sunday. All right, today's topic, the Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day, if there is to be another player dealt after Roy Robertson Harris, who do you think that would be? First, Doug Peterson weighing in this morning on the trade of Roy Robertson Harris.
Well, listen, first of all, let me just say, I appreciate everything Roy has done for me and this team for the last, 3 years that I've been here. And as you guys know, too, we were heavy at DT, and it just, the opportunity presented itself. This time of year, team needs around the league, too. Injuries play a big part of things, and it was an opportunity for him and obviously, for us to get something for it. And he's been a big part of that defense. I wish him well, but, it's good for him.
All right, before we comment on that, let's quickly hear the follow-up answer. It's only a few seconds long on, the expectation. Is Roy Robertson Harris the first of several, the first of many? Could we see more of these deals? Where's Doug Peterson's head on the chance of the Jags excise a few more guys off the roster?
You're always open to conversations and phone calls, but I don't anticipate anything like that.
Okay, I don't anticipate anything like that. All right, first of all, we're heavy at defensive tackle.
It made me laugh.
Okay, there are a lot of names, there are a lot of bodies there, but are they playing particularly well? Okay, so they're not. And
even worse than that, we're heavy at defensive tackles that are actually playing defensive end because we have no ends.
Yes.
That's the position the team is in.
That's how we structure our team.
Right.
But on top of that, we thank Roy for everything he's done. So a team that thinks they have a chance to rebound is not trading a piece that they think can help them do that for a late pick 2 years away.
Yeah.
I mean, this is we'll take anything we can to get him off the roster. And in one sense, you look at it and you go, okay, that's realistic. You're 1-5. You're really not going anywhere. You're not going to get up to the podium and say it that way. An opportunity presented itself. I don't doubt that Seattle came knocking. They had a deal. They got the Travis Gibson deal, as we were talking about on the break. Travis Gibson doesn't even play for him. I mean, he's like a healthy scratch. He does nothing.
Plays special teams a little bit for him if he plays at all.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's not like he's making any kind of impact. And you can look at that and say, well, why did the Jags sign him? Because they thought they could get him back to the form he was at a couple of years ago. And you could argue that was actually a pretty savvy move, that they signed him. They realized maybe he wasn't going to be that impactful. So let's get something for him before we actually have to pay him the bulk of the money that's coming his way. But at the same time, Tone, all right, you've got, and I don't know this, but you've got Cisco going, this team quit, and then the next day they trade Roy Robertson Harris, and we don't anticipate any more moves. Like, you can interpret that as, was he a problem? Was he an issue? I mean, remember, he played late in the preseason in these games. And we're like, what is this all about?
Yeah.
Is this an attitude adjuster? Is this we just need to get him reps? Because it was like different treatment
was
than
odd.
most of the veteran players on this football team. I don't know. I'm not trying to make up stories where there are none.
No.
It just
But now you have a new
strange.
piece of information. They're willing to trade him 6 weeks into it as well. And he hasn't played all that bad. He's got a couple of sacks on the year. He's been a relatively effective player compared to everything else.
But is he disgruntled? We just don't know. Does he expect to be playing like 65% of the snaps at 3 technique? Or I don't know. What it is it addition by subtraction? Now, you're not going to get the head coach to get up there and say that, so you're left to kind of interpret. But, so this was just a target of opportunity that came along. I'm sorry. Look.
They got Ledbetter on the field for the first time this week, too. Maybe that's something obviously they're going to want to see more of. Going forward, there's all these different things obviously in play. Apparently, Eric Armstead just being told he's a defensive tackle to this point is not part of whatever that conversation's going to be.
No.
So it is what it is. Their defensive end depth is basically Armstead when they go to it, Abdullah and Miles Cole. That's their defensive end depth.
And they, at times, have Josh Heinzel and Trayvon Walker standing on the side at the same time. Right. Which is...
On third down.
Just so head-scratching. I mean, that's putting it nicely. All right, let's get one more here on the potential return of Tyson Campbell?
Yeah, we're going to take a look at some things this week. Tyson Campbell, obviously, potentially, this week. So we'll see how he does in practice and make a decision later in the week. But, that changes some things and just adds another body, another really good corner that can just help us. So we'll see where he's at.
Good gravy, he says. Is that a hacker quote? Sounds like something he would say.
Sounds like,
good gracious. He's another body?
Oh, boy.
Your $100 million cornerback's another body? Like, I from the sound of that, by the way, is very non-committal.
Yeah.
If I'm betting, I'm going to say Tyson doesn't play this week. Now, I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe it's just the way Doug talked about it, but there was no...
Didn't feel like there was any confidence that he would.
Right. There's no, as long as there's no setbacks, we expect to have him back this week, or he's trending in a good direction. It's none of that. It's just like, we'll see. We'll see. And of another body out there. And then he kind of caught himself, said, a good cornerback. Good? He better be better than good for,
They paid him for way better.
Right. And I granted, has Trevor Lawrence lived up to his new deal? No. Not yet, right? I mean, he hasn't been the biggest issue. We discussed this yesterday, Tone. But he's had his flaws certainly along the way this year. Has Josh Hines-Allen been worthy of that contract? I mean, he's had a solid year. You know what I mean? But, that's the kind of contract you expect a guy to go out there and stack 15 sack seasons for the next 4 to 5 years.
Yeah.
So that's part of it. Nobody's having that peak potential kind of season.
No.
For the football team. It's not like we're wasting somebody's career year at this point in time.
They've created an opportunity where literally, for most fans, the only bright spot they see is Brian Thomas Jr. Maybe a little bit of Tank.
Little Tank. I was going to say a little Ventrell.
Right. This is what they've been left with.
What a fun game that would be next year. All right. With 2 weeks go from the season, 2 months from now, who will be your 3 favorite Jaguars, right? I mean, it'd be Trevor. This year it'd be Trevor, Josh Hines-Allen. We would have asked a question like this. Other than Trevor and Josh Hines-Allen, who do you think will be your 3 favorite Jaguars?
Yeah.
And it's, BTJ? Sure. First-round pick, a little wish casting. But the backup running back and a guy who you thought might have been the 4th linebacker on a team that wants to start 2. Right? Those are some of the bright spots for you right now. All right, we'll go across the pond. John Oehser, the senior writer from Jaguars.com, was on hand as Shad Khan, Mark Lamping, and Mayor Deegan all gathered to celebrate the NFL's 32-0 vote in favor of the Jaguars' restructuring plan for the Everbank Stadium proposal that they passed here with the city council. So we'll get into that with John and just, mood of the team kind of thing. He's been around them certainly much more than we have lately, and we'll see what he thinks is on their mind and whether or not they can be a little mentally tougher and physically tougher in the short term at least and come home with a win against the New England Patriots. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Dylan Denmark here with you. You're listening to Jaguars Today. Keep it right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here. You heard me talking about Pella Windows and Doors. Great ratings, expert reviews. You know they're the highest quality. I know they are because I have them in my house. Super energy efficient. They look fantastic. So you're thinking about changing out your windows. What's your next step? Schedule a free consultation by going to PellaJax.com, P-E-L-L-A Jax.com, or just stop by the Pella showroom on Phillips Highway. They have a professional design consultant team that'll guide you through your entire project from start to finish. Once again, quality and service that you can expect. You're going to get it from Pella Windows and Doors.
Jaguars Today. You're at the home of the Jaguars in the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Kick off your college football weekend with the Bueller Air and Plumbing College Kickoff.
I'm Matt Hayes, and I'll help you slide into a college football Saturday with pregame news and notes.
Friday evening at 6. Brought to you by Sonny's Barbecue on 1010XL.
At Honda, we appreciate all the comparisons to other vehicles. And no matter how many times they compare their vehicles to a Honda, only a Honda is a Honda. Remember, value, quality, safety, there is no substitute. Visit your local Honda dealer now and experience the difference.
The Sunshine State says it all in the nickname. That summer sun in Florida can take its toll on an air conditioning unit and send your electric bill through the roof. Florida Home AC can help you handle the heat with a brand new AC unit with low monthly payments and over $3,000 in federal tax credits on select systems. So this summer, don't sweat it out. Cool off with Florida Home AC, the official AC company of the Jaguars. Call them today, 777-4300, and check out their tremendous savings on a brand new AC system.
Our slogan, Know Before You Blow, applies to more than just DUI cases. Hi, I'm attorney Lee Lockett of Lockett Law. Battery charges can result in jail time and criminal convictions too, so know before you blow a gasket and hit a loved one or a stranger. Drug crimes like possession of marijuana and cocaine will land you in cuffs too, so know before you blow. In a boating under the influence case, you also have the option to blow or not to blow. So know your options. Know before you blow. Go to knowbeforeyoublow.com now. Offices Jacksonville.
In its final year, we encourage you to help create great futures for young people when you run or walk at Mackenzie's Run, Saturday, November 23rd. Join Boys and Girls Club of Northeast Florida for a 5K and 1 mile fun run through the beautiful stadium course at TPC Sawgrass. Enjoy food, live music, face painting, family fun, and more at our Runners Village. Register at McKenzie'sRun.org. Mackenzie's 5K and Fun Run, November 23rd. McKenzie'sRun.org.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday on Jaguars Today. Awaken 180 Weight Loss, your long-term solution for weight loss.
Homeowners, listen up. The Fed is taking action, lowering rates for the first time in years, and Loan Pronto has followed suit, lowering mortgage rates big time. Prosser here. That means this is the best chance in 2 years to do a cash-out refi and unlock all that equity at an amazing rate. Loan Pronto has fixed loans under 5% APR, the lowest in 2 years. You can get a fast refi and get $50,000 to $75,000, even $100,000 in cash. Use it to pay off all your credit cards, personal loans, car loans. You'll end up with one payment each month. And for most homeowners, they save over $850 every month. If you want to keep your original mortgage intact, ask about the Loan Pronto Express Equity Line of Credit. If you act now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. So call now. Get your rate quote in minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. 999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781.
SportsForecaster.com has all the data you need to project tomorrow's winners. Register for free and track the performance of all your favorite players and teams, including all your fantasy team picks and prospects. Sports Forecaster has the most detailed player profiles on the web, precise depth charts, every transaction, every injury, every news update. No ranting or raving, no preening or barstool bluster. At SportsForecaster.com, you get the timely info you need for every game. SportsForecaster.com. Sign up for free today.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
If you're tired of your fence looking like a bad hair day, well, it's time for a fence makeover with Superior Fence and Rail. They'll make your yard the talk of the town with a new fence installed by their expert team.
Your fence is fantastic.
My fence is giving all of my neighbors some serious pick and envy. Thanks, Superior Fence and Rail.
So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail for your fence installation project today.
SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for Instant Keys locksmith service.
O'Reilly.
Need a little help? O'Reilly Auto Parts can help. Need advice? We've got advice. No matter what you need, we have thousands of professional parts people doing their part to make sure you have it. Exceptional customer service. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Here's
your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update, sponsored by Hurricane Grill and Wings. During his media day presser, Florida basketball head coach Todd Golden addressed the appeal of foreign players for college programs.
And I think a lot of the international players, they've been a part of team and been a part of program or club for a long time, so they kind of come up in that environment where they understand sacrifice and understand putting the team in front of themselves.
As they prepare to take on Duke this Saturday, Noles head coach Mike Norvell highlights the importance of performance in this game.
Offensively and defensively, this is a big week for us to see growth, to see improvement.
They're two highly touted quarterbacks when Georgia faces Texas. Georgia head coach Kirby Smart commented on the comparisons between Texas quarterback Quinn Ewers and Georgia's quarterback Carson Beck.
They're very similar in terms of knowledge, understanding of their offense, protections. He doesn't seem pressure affects him much.
At your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update, I'm Sam Nelson.
At 10:58, it's 61 degrees. Time and 10 brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler, Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line.
Hello.
We can wiggle it. Oh No's with Jaguars.com's John Oehser. Brought to you by
Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
On 1010XL.
Now joining us now from one of those, I'm sure, one of those roadside phone booths, you know, the red ones.
They still have those?
I think they do. When I went over with the family and did the little Great Britain tour, there were some of those around. Yeah, I don't know if they keep them just for aesthetics or what.
It's kind of nice, the nostalgia of it.
I'm sure there's a few working payphones over there in London. Johnny O, are you in one of those red booths right now, or what's the story?
No, I could probably find one. We're out at the Grove, and there's not that many phone booths at the Grove. It's kind of a high-end place. But
what a snob!
I'll tell you what. Next week when I call in, I'll call in from one of them.
That'd be great. Next, you're calling next week. Here from is there a working payphone in Jacksonville? By the way, I have no idea. Like I wouldn't even know where to begin.
There's one on Lane Avenue. I don't know if it works or not.
There is one on Lane Avenue.
Yeah, by the place I get their breakfast.
Is that where you can call in all your untoward things?
Yeah, make sure. The FBI doesn't track me and stuff like that.
Yes, understood. All right, Johnny O. Let's start with this. My tweet yesterday was pretty succinct and to the point. Bad football beats no football. And they're playing bad football, but damn it, I'm glad we got whatever level of football locked in for the next 3 decades or so, right? And so you were around yesterday with Shad Khan and Mark Lamping and Mayor Deegan and all that, just obviously, I'm sure, a celebratory mood.
Yeah, and obviously, as you said, bad football beats no football, and that's I guess, perfect way to say it. I was able to get downtown when it was announced. So it was kind of cool. I was in the room with Shad and Mark when they found out, and Donna was still getting there. And sort of seeing it come together, it did remind you I was not covering the event when they got the team back in '93, but there was sort of that energy of, look, this was a major off-field accomplishment that I think the way it played out this year over the last 6 months or so sort of gave the impression that it was easier than it was, right? Because there was no real debate over it. We've talked on the air a lot about how little drama there was with it. Well, it didn't have to be that way. This was a big deal, and as Shad said last night, Wayne Weaver told him, look, second biggest moment in city history next to getting the team was solidifying this thing. So for us, for most fans, if you love this team, this was a big deal. And I just think back to when I got here back in 2011 and 2012, I thought it was going to stay, but you didn't know. And so, yes, a great day. And for all of us who've been around for all or parts of 30 years, it does sort of make you stop, think, and reflect, right?
No doubt. I'm thrilled for the fans that have been sticking it out for the 30 years, and now they get 30 more that they had that kind of moment yesterday because the football team certainly isn't giving him anything to be happy about or excited about now in their current state. What is your reaction to Doug Peterson saying this morning that he hasn't talked to Andre Cisco yet about his comments coming out of the game last week using the word like quit?
Wasn't shocked because I think coaches in that situation, you can make too big a deal out of it. I think Doug looked at it as something that was said after a game in the emotion of the moment. I think on Monday he probably planned to talk to him and then probably said, you know what, a one-time thing that if he goes to him about it, maybe you're making a bigger deal out of it than you have to. So I've been around different coaches who have handled that different ways. So I guess not shocked. Probably wouldn't have shocked me if he had talked to him about it. But I think Doug's approach was trying to make it, look, he doesn't think that Andre meant anything beyond, look, the team's not playing together right now. They're not playing as one. I think that's what Andre meant from what I've read in the comments. So that's the way Doug wanted to handle it. And I guess not shocked that he handled it that way. And I didn't have a huge problem with not talking to him about it.
I don't know, man. I
do. I have a big problem with
I'm not buying that they just weren't playing together, and that was you don't use the word quit.
That's what he said.
But the word quit is a very specific word, and he even caught himself. He goes, how do I want to say this? Do I want to say this?
Right.
And he used the word quit, and like that to me is like, it's one thing if like we're not synced up, I'm hitting the wrong gap. We don't have cohesiveness on the offensive line, and we're not playing together, right? That I think we've got,
we'd all hear it and go, oh, okay.
Right, I think I've got this guy, but he thought he had this guy, and we had miscommunication. But quit to me, John, is like a pure effort thing. That I think that's just a word that athletes are very loath to use. They hate to I don't use it about players because I can't get inside their head. At least I use it very rarely. I just was very, I stood up and took notice, and I'm sure that Andre Cisco knew that would have that intended effect, but I don't know. I think that was a pretty damning indictment myself. You don't think it was as bad as that sounded, apparently.
Well, I think a lot of times when players talk about quitting, we talk about quitting in the NFL, often what they're talking about is not playing with cohesion and not all pulling in the same direction. So when Andre was saying that's the way I was reading it, that's usually how it goes bad for teams is when they stop playing together. So the quit thing, was it a slip of the tongue? Was it, I don't know. But when I read it, I kind of gave Andre the benefit of the doubt for saying it that way because I saw the rest of his quote. Would he probably like to have the quit part back? Probably. Looking at it, I certainly thought there were moments where there could have been more effort. But I guess I'm sort of like you. I'm always loath to say quit. To me personally, I can't say that. I would guess Andre probably wishes he had that one back.
I could even, Tony, use the word loathing, right? Mm-hmm. Like quit is just such a I don't care term, right? Like that. Yeah. Like I get occasionally guys are gonna jog, and over the course of a season, there's not going to be full effort on every single play. And you say, well, we should expect that, but it's human nature, and sometimes you try to save yourself.
Sets off sirens.
Right. That's a different level, and maybe it was a poor choice of words, but I'd like to see some follow-up on that with Andre Cisco.
Absolutely, and I do think part of it too, John, is we're 6 games in. Right? Like, this is not deep into the season. We got 11 games left in this season, and you have Cisco saying that. You have Trevor Lawrence very rightfully saying that the team is fragile. I don't disagree with him that the team is fragile, but you have 2 players in the locker room. One of them's willing to use the word quit. The other one's the team leader. He's willing to use the word fragile. They have 11 games left in the 2024 season. It's hard to see how any of the problems that the team currently has get turned around when these things feel as solidly and placed in the locker room as they seem to be right now for the team.
I'm not going to argue that it's good. I mean, And the fragile thing, when I heard Trevor Lawrence say it, I wasn't surprised because he had sort of gone in that direction after games. And when you watch it and when you analyze the team, they have been very fragile. I mean, they're not a resilient team. It felt that way against the Bears. They had it was 98-7 yards in Jaguars advantage. And then as soon as it started going bad in the second quarter, you didn't feel like they were going to get it back. So I thought the fragile comments were dead on. I thought it defined the game and the team so far. So no question, it's a concern that you got to get it turned around. But so, yeah, I mean, I thought that was the defining quote after the game as much as the quit stuff. I thought the fact that Trevor Lawrence said it was fragile and it had been fragile, so far you could have written after 5 games. I mean, after 5 of the 6 games.
So is that fixable, John? And if so, like, former players generally, like the ones we have on 1010X on a regular basis, generally put it on players. Like, hey, you've got to have some personal responsibility. You've got to, take pride in all your actions and blah, 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 blah. Others say, hey, look, it's kind of on a coaching staff to, in terms of the mental framework of a team to get them in the right frame of mind to perform. It's up to them to do it. But how do you get it turned around? Can it turn around at 1-5 if you've got all this swirling around a football team?
I'm a broken record. I think the issue with the team, I think they have a lot of good players. I don't know if they have any players who step up in big situations right now. And to me, fragile is the last 5-6 minutes of a game or those key moments. Do you have the guy who can make the big play to get it turned around? Do you have the guy, you had the offensive or defensive line the other day when the Bears started getting it going up front, right? Like on offense, the Bears all of a sudden felt like they were getting 4 or 5 yards to carry. Do you have, right there, you're going to stop the run. You're going to get that stop. I haven't seen him do it. So, I think that manifests itself into feeling fragile. Your question is how they get it turned around. So far they haven't shown that they are going to do it and that they have the guys to make those plays in that situation. So, I hope they can get it turned around. I'm not going to say they can't because I've seen teams do it, but they've got to go do it before I predict it's going to happen. So is that coaching? I think right now it's everything when you're 1-5, but I've been saying since day one, show me a guy who's making big plays in big spots, and they just haven't shown that.
So, John, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I don't know how you turn that around beyond doing it, and it's a bad answer for radio. But at some point, you got to see it before you can say they're going to do it.
Well, I don't want you to make something up if there may not be an answer to some of this stuff, right? So the answer is what the answer is. Maybe you don't have an answer for this one, but you've got 3 different guys dropping a total of 4 would-be touchdowns. Is this just like with Gabe Davis? It's in his head, and he drops the first one, and then how do you explain that? Christian Kirk in years past has been pretty sure-handed. He's not sure. This one, I think, might have got to his face. Brian Thomas Jr., wide open in the end zone by NFL standards. Just an easy little pitch and catch. Is it just become an epidemic that guys are pressing because I got to make this play because we're struggling offensively, or what do you attribute it to?
That felt like it from Christian and Gabe. That felt like it the other day. I mean, Gabe's made so many big plays. I mean, I'm sorry, not Gabe. Brian Thomas Jr. That felt sort of like a one-off. He's made so many big plays already. Maybe it just got in the water, so to speak. From Gabe, it's happened some this year. I can't say it's a one-off until I see it, start not happening in big situations. He caught the 2 later, but at that point, who really cared, right? So until he shows that he's not going to do that consistently, then that's sort of what he's been. So how do you fix that? I feel like we've had this conversation over the years about a lot of drop passes. I don't know how you fix it. A little more concentration, a little more focus, all that stuff is perplexing. I've seen enough games where you expect a drop during a game. They're going to happen. But 3 or 4 like that,
3 or 4 touchdowns.
I got a bunch of questions this week about, hey, how can Trevor Lawrence play better? Well, I guess they could start by catching the ball.
Right, hand it to them. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, so you started off by saying, I don't know if you have an answer to this one. I've never known how to answer drop pass questions because some of it's in the moment, some of it's going to happen because they're not perfect. But 3 or 4, that was probably as weird as anything I've ever seen on that front.
And we've all seen the numbers go around. Trevor's had the most drop passes of any quarterback in the league since he came into the league. Now, oddly, Mahomes is second. So apparently you can overcome that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's a high bar, a high standard.
Well, Kansas City is the furthest thing from fragile in the entire league.
Understood. But like if that number were in the middle of the pack,
I get
like half, it would be the numbers for Trevor Lawrence will look so much better. And again, I want to make this clear. He's not the golden child. He's not being protected here. We've discussed many issues that he's had where he needs to play better. He was far from the leading cause of failure this week,
no doubt,
against the Chicago Bears. Johnny O.
I thought he was actually
go
ahead. He was actually pretty good the other day. But anyway, I thought he actually, watching it again, I thought he played pretty well. I mean, a couple of misses, but even the interception, you're 3rd and long, 3 touchdowns down. I mean, those are going to happen. Those are the interceptions
everybody has a few of those.
Trying to make a play.
Right? They were talking about on Monday Night
Anyway,
Football. Josh Allen hadn't thrown a pick, and they're like, oh, he threw plenty that were worthy of being picked. Right, and the other team dropped them, So it's fun. It really goes to show you sometimes. I had somebody on Sirius XM ask me the other night, are they going to bench him for Mac Jones? I'm like, are you out of your freaking mind? Like you're not even watching the game if you're asking that question. It's crazy, but that's how a lot of people consume things. They consume things by skimming over headlines and what have you. I'm not saying that's the typical listener of this program. I think those people are more into it, and you know what I mean? But anyway, John, hang on. We're going to get you back here for one more segment. Some more reflections on how the week is going over there in London and your expectation for what they'll do on the field at 9:30 a.m. Another bright and early kickoff here back in Duval against the New England Patriots coming up on Sunday. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark stateside. We got Johnny O over in London joining us from the nearest available telly. And by the way, I was told, Tony, there is a payphone on Emerson across from Sensations. I know that's one of your favorite haunts.
That's my
and and Bush Drive Rich says there's one in Everbank Stadium.
Oh, cool.
For that matter. So
I'm sure there's probably a couple down at like the jail or something.
I think that's the one where John changes into a Superman outfit. Is what it
Could
is.
Be.
Typically before doing his latest podcast appearance. All right, we'll come back more on the Jaguars front, including whom, if anyone, gets traded next from the Jacksonville Jaguars. We'll get into that with John as well on the other side. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. One of these days, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to swing into gate. I'm going to buy the boys all breakfast because I'm going to owe them breakfast, right? Maybe it'll be this week. Maybe it won't be. But I know I've got great options, whether I'm a breakfast bowl loser or not. If I want delicious breakfast items at any time of day, all I have to do around Duval County is swing into the nearest gate station, head right into the fresh case, and just check out the amazing variety that they've got, from buttermilk biscuits to soft flaky croissants and French toast, my favorite, light tasty maple waffles, sizzling country sausage, black forest ham, thick sliced bacon, Pockets loves that, and don't forget the peppered fried eggs, creamy Wisconsin cheddar cheese, and on, and all the many combinations you can imagine that Dandy can put together. And as you know, it's no secret, breakfast is great first thing in the morning. It's great first thing in the middle of the night or in the middle of the afternoon. Whenever you want it, Dandy's got it for you. Great variety, quality ingredients. When you're hungry in Duval, do what I do. Go out and make yours a Dandy and do it today.
Jaguars Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL, he's our pathfinder through the weeds of quarterback chaos.
I'm Denny Thompson, and they call me the quarterback whisperer.
He shares his insights Friday mornings on The Drill. Brought to you by Tyson Sound and Security and George Moore Chevrolet on 1010XL.
Hey,
everybody. Jennifer Marion with Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville, here to say hello. And we'd sure like to have your business.
You know what? They're going to love the king of price.
My dad believes in making great deals and having a great selection in stock.
Cadillac XT4s, XT5s, and XT6s, and Escalades.
The all-electric Cadillac Lyriq.
CT4s and CT5s.
Cadillac luxury and selection is just waiting for you.
At Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
And don't forget, tell them Jennifer sent ya.
You've got so many chances to win big on Hard Rock Bet. Even a small bet can bring in that serious cash. All you need is $1 and a dream.
Unbelievable. They've hit the parlay. Let's go!
Big payouts for every kind of player.
Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us.
Get up to $100 back if your first bet doesn't win. Payable and bonus bet up to $100, not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Before termites attack your home or business and cause costly damage, Terminix it. At Terminix, we know how to stop termites. These destructive pests have been around for millions of years, but before they show up, so do we. And their time is up. Don't live with a termite problem? Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com. TERMINIX.com. Terminix it.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday on 1010XL. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's contestant, a gravy taster from Jacksonville, Florida, me, Dennis Mosley. Hi, Ken. Okay, Dennis. 100 plumbers surveyed, top answer on the board. What does it mean if someone says your home has hard water?
It's made of ice? Let's see. Hard water. Oh, is it club soda mixed 4-to-1 with vodka?
Last chance, Dennis. What is hard water?
Oh, is it that lime scale stuff that makes my taps all crusty?
That's right, Dennis. And a water treatment system from Bueller Air and Plumbing will eliminate troublesome lime scale deposits that can ruin your expensive appliances and let your neighbors know for sure that you are cool.
I wonder if I can get me a gin and tonic faucet.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Find your why with membership at the First Coast YMCA. The Y has something for everyone at any age. Come try free access to your local Y every Wellness Wednesday this month. Check out our fitness classes, swimming, pickleball, youth sports, and so much more for free every Wednesday in October. Plus, we'll waive the join fee when you become a member this month. Get active, be social, live healthier, and discover all the benefits of YMCA membership at your local Y or visit fcymca.org.
When you want to be heard, send your opinion to the 1010XL text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures.
Thank you for believing in me when the bosses didn't give me a chance.
641-1010. No texting and driving. Get your thoughts heard on 1010XL.
Pickett here with my concierge doctor, Richard Townsend. Doc T, how does a concierge direct primary care operate?
We are a membership-based primary care made directly between the patient and physician. We'll have a limited amount of patients that allows us to give unlimited access and personal service to you. This individualized approach has been shown to lower hospitalizations as well as maintain healthier lives. We also give 24/7 access via phone to me outside of our scheduled office hours.
To learn more, go to mypvconcierge.com.
16 years serving great craft beer in Jacksonville is saying something, and that's worth a round of applause. And Bold City Brewery is celebrating. Duval's oldest brewery is set up for a big party October 12th, and you don't want to miss it. Live music all day, great food, giveaways, and growlers galore. In fact, Bold City Brewery will be giving away free pints, and someone's going to win free growler fills for a year. It's all at Bold City Brewery, Roselle Street in Riverside. Check out all the details at boldcitybrewery.com.
It only takes a drop of water to cause someone to slip and fall, but it takes a lot more to prove that your injuries were the result of negligence. The store said the floor was dry. Our investigators learned that on the day of the accident, it had been raining.
So the next time it rained, we went back. And guess what? Rainwater was dripping from the ceiling exactly where our client was injured. When you're in for the fight of your life, investigators with 30 years of experience is a good thing. Farah and Farah, Jacksonville.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555, Jacksonville.
Oh No's.
With Jaguars.com's John Oehser.
Brought to you by
Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars on 1010XL.
All right, Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith is back after, just trying to recoup mentally after Wilson took the beat down from Baldwin.
Yeah.
That's what I'm rolling with today. Dylan Denmark is here. Johnny O is across the pond in merry old England right now. Merry for the Chicago Bears. Last weekend, let's not let it be that way for the New England Patriots. John's on the Garber Automall phone lines. John, Roy Robertson Harris gets dealt for a 6th-round pick. It's an interesting offseason. In the preseason, he's playing into the fourth quarter in some of these games. They're talking about he needs reps, he needs conditioning, get up to speed. They didn't treat every veteran player like that, certainly. And they deal him for, the NFL equivalent of a bag of circus peanuts here, a 6th-round pick 2 years in the future. Doug Peterson said it was an opportunity that just came up. John, was this just we got a surplus at defensive tackle, or are they trying to reshape the locker room in any way, shape, or form?
I don't think it was reshaping the locker room as much as, right now, unfortunately, you've got a bunch of defensive tackles on the team, none of which have really outplayed the other, if that makes any sense. I'm not sure that, Jordan Jefferson, Roy Robertson Harris, Devon Hamilton, any of them, unfortunately, on the interior have distinguished themselves. So when they had an opportunity to get something for one of them and get out of a contract a little bit, I think they took it. I don't necessarily sense that it's fire sale time. I don't necessarily think there's a bunch that they're trying to deal. But when you're 1-5, if you're 1-6 and 1-7, more of these things happen. It's the nature of the NFL. Right. I mean, the fire sale is one step on the slippery slope away, honestly, because I feel like if Roy Robertson Harris, the way Doug Peterson described him, has played some good football for us and all this, if you feel like he can contribute to more good football, you need as many of those guys around. And I think the reality is a staff or front office at 1-5, they probably know that this season, while mathematically, it can turn around, the likelihood is not very high, and you're just not going to admit that. And so it'll be interesting if anybody else, Doug said he doesn't anticipate any more of those. That doesn't mean it won't happen. We got 3 weeks to go. Sure. If the Jags are staring at 1-7, I think anything that's not bolted down is a possibility to be shipped out. And I will say this as well. And this is not to pick on Tom McManus. Tom is big man. He stands up and speaks for himself, and he'll be here on Friday to discuss this. But he made a comment like, hey, why sign him to an extension to flip him for a late-round pick? Well, at the time you sign him, you think he's going to maybe play better than he did. And so you can fault the signing. Yeah. There's no question about it. But if you look at him now and you say, is he a difference maker? Do we have a lot of guys? And putting any locker room potential issues aside, we're 1-5. Is he going to be a key piece to us turning this around, whether it's this year or 2025? If you don't think so, then move on. Yeah, it hurts you cap space-wise, but you save a little money and you get a pick for somewhere down the line, and it frees up an opportunity for Mason Smith to play. So I guess my point being, don't compound a mistake. If you feel it was a mistake, how much you ended up paying him, by just keeping him around just out of pride, try to clean it up as best you can, I suppose. Yeah, out of all the extensions, to me, even at the time, that was a little, interesting, because I didn't know if he had been an impact guy on the scale of some of the other guys they signed. But I'm with you. If it's over with you on that front for that player, don't compound it by keeping him around.
John, I think Doug Peterson can certainly recognize that his team, as Trevor Lawrence described it, is fragile right now. Right. And that's showing up in a bunch of different areas of the football team. Sure. And thinking through that a little bit, could it be part of the reason why he maybe has been a little bit less aggressive on fourth down situations in the last couple of games? There's been some spots where typically we've seen Doug go. But the last couple of weeks, he's been willing to be a little bit more conservative in those moments. Is that a reflection of where he feels like his football team is right now?
Interesting. I hadn't thought about that. maybe. I think he's been concerned about this for a long time, probably dating back to last season, meaning just sort of wanting guys to step up and take control in big situations. Yeah, that was sort of the theme of the off season when you went and signed some of these veterans was, hey, we need guys who, when there's adversity, are going to take control of the locker room and just go win a darn game, right? So, yeah, I mean, I think there could be something to that where maybe you just feel like let's not take a chance with that, although I kind of think with Doug's MO has sort of been to go for it and try to give a team a lift when you don't think it's going that well. So I think after thinking about it while I'm answering it, it may just be trying to figure out something new that might work. You may be seeing somebody who, hey, we've tried it this way. Now I've got to try it another way to see if this might work because the other ways haven't. So I think it's probably more just looking for an answer than it is sort of a philosophical, hey, they're fragile, they can't take disappointment. I don't think it's that. I still think the fragile thing is waiting for something, somebody to make a big play when it matters and to prove they're sort of an alpha, right? To prove they can play in the moment. They just haven't had that.
All right, John, tell us, we're still 4 days away, so it's impossible to know. But what do you feel? You're around the team. You've covered this team forever. Do you think they'll respond this weekend? I mean, I feel like almost silly asking because there were plenty of times you could draw a line in the sand and say, well, they have to respond this week. They have to respond this week. And they haven't always done that, or rarely this season so far. But what kind of performance / effort / expectation should we have for Sunday?
I think much like Sunday, like on Sunday they came out playing well. So you thought, okay, they're rallying. And then they got sort of punched in the mouth in the second quarter a couple of times. They couldn't respond. So I believe that they will play well early. I don't think you'll see a Buffalo where all of a sudden 5 minutes in, you're like, well, I can go ahead and write my game story. So and then I'm not sure that the Patriots are a solid performing team right now where if they get punched, do they know how to respond? So they're at the stage in their development where if the Jaguars play well for a quarter and a half, I don't know that they know how to take that punch and punch back, if that makes any sense. So I think they'll play well. I think they'll win primarily because the Patriots are at a point where they're probably not ready to play at very much consistency yet. So that should mean the Jaguars get one. Do I think that will mean that they've got stuff fixed? I'm not in studio. If I was in studio, I couldn't look you in the eye and say that.
All right. Where are we going to catch you, the senior writer, over the next several days?
I'm getting ready to do the Huddle Up podcast with Bucky Brooks, so that'll be on, and your friend JP Shadrick will be on there with us.
Love that guy.
Monteric Brown on the Ozone podcast this week, and Monteric, Buster Brown. 3 or 4 guys I really liked watching play this year. Ventrell Miller, Brian Thomas Jr. But Monteric Brown, I really enjoyed watching play. He's got a lot of heart, and it was fun to have him on the podcast.
All right, if you had said Tank Bigsby, you would have hit all the buzzwords this morning for all. We were joking about it like
he's one of those guys.
2 months ago, if you had said in 8 weeks, who will your 3 favorite Jaguars be, maybe you would have guessed Brian Thomas, but Tank Bigsby and Ventrell Miller would have been very high, or ended up being very high on that list based on how they're playing. All right, John, hey, have a good rest of your week there. Hopefully the Jags can get it turned around Sunday, and safe travels on your way back. We'll look forward to seeing you next week.
All right, Mike, Tony, thanks for being flexible. I appreciate it. We'll talk next week.
All right, there he goes. Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks. They're going to podcast, and you can catch that over at Jaguars.com. They do a great job with that every week. So Johnny O, the senior writer, joining us live from London. And Barry Milligan has weighed in to tell me that there are payphones in the arena as well. Bro, when Y3K strikes, we're going to be ready. All right? Jacksonville FLA is going to be ready to communicate with the world with some old school telephone technology. I love it. We got a liner on Sirius, and like they give out the number and they're like, it's toll free. I'm like, no one knows what the hell that means.
No way.
Like they literally say it's toll free, right?
Wow.
Like Pockets, do you even know what that means? It's toll free?
Yeah, no money.
No money, right? But
he got the free part.
He did get the free. He got the free part, right? But you're right. I mean, context clues.
Yeah.
But who uses that expression anymore?
I know, like
toll free.
You hear it in commercials. You call this number
do
toll
they
free.
still say that? I mean,
yes.
because
it'll be commercials for like they're targeting an older demographic, but yes. Still
right,
have it in
maybe.
there.
So anyway, it is toll free. Everything here, this show is free as long as you got a radio.
Yes, it is.
You
There
have
is
to
no
buy your
toll
radio.
to listen to this radio.
You can stand close to someone who has a radio, and therefore you don't need to have your own. So we'll never charge you for that product, and it's you get what you pay for. All right, Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Dylan Denmark. Let's come back. And we got a couple of things. We'll go around the league. We got a 10-10 take on today's question of the day. Who, if anyone else, is a good trade target on these Jacksonville Jaguars? This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios.
Do the Garber wiggle, Garber wiggle, 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 Garber wiggle.
If you're looking for a pre-owned vehicle with lifetime warranty, Garber Auto Mall can wiggle it. Best price, best payment, best trade-in value, Garber Auto Mall can wiggle it. With a huge selection of pre-owned vehicles, Garber Auto Mall can wiggle it. Visit us in Green Cove Springs or at GarberAutomall.com. And remember, at Garber Auto Mall, there is always a little room for wiggle.
Garber wiggle, Garber wiggle, 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 Garber wiggle.
Hey, gang, Prosser here to save you some cash. Maximize your home sale now with the market experts who deliver more money in less time, and those experts are Chad and Sandy Newman. Maybe you're worried about costly repairs or upgrades needed to sell your home. You don't have to worry. The worries are relieved with Chad and Sandy, the local real estate experts we are trusting and recommending with the sale of your home. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Mortgage rates are down. It's time to create your market. Marvin in Cobblestone writes, my siblings and I moved our parents to Maryland so they can get some extra help as they get older. Next, we had to sell the home to get them some financial help for their extra care. We hired Chad and Sandy, and they delivered big. Chad and Sandy's team got our home sold in 7 days, above asking price. You can too. Call Chad and Sandy today, 904-414-6200, or go to chadandsandy.com. That's Chad, ANDSANDY.com.
Googan Nation, it's Dreamfinders Danny Hicken here to tell you this is no dream. The folks at Dreamfinders Homes right now have an unbeatable interest rate for you. You may not think you can afford a Dreamfinders home. Well, think again. Take advantage of a 2.99% year one rate. I said it, 2.99%. 15 Jacksonville communities to choose from. Find that dream house and take advantage of an unbeatable rate. Move now, literally. Dreamfinders Homes, the official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
It's Awaken 180 Weight Loss Wednesday
on Jaguars Today.
These are interesting economic times. That's why it's so important to have someone you can count on. That's ITP Partners. Jacksonville folks taking care of our Jacksonville money. Experience? You best believe you want to give your hard-earned money to folks you trust. Jeff Hartman, Chris Bryan, Dan Abel, Reed Wingate, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reagan Wright have the expertise and knowledge to help clients in their financial lives, focusing on investment management, financial planning, and risk management. ITP Partners. Financial partners for life. Securities offered through American Portfolios Financial Services, Inc. Member FINRA SIPC.
I'm Stacy, and I want to tell you about my fogged up window fiasco at my house. I called up Mac at Baker Glass, and he told me all I needed was a glass replacement. The process was so easy. All within a few days, they came out, measured, called me with an estimate, cut my glass, and came out to install the new ones. Now my view outside is fog-free thanks to Mac and his crew at Baker Glass. And my neighbors think I got some fancy new windows.
I'm Mac with Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
She's very comfortable talking sports and hanging out with the boys.
Mia O'Brien here, still providing the best multimedia sports coverage in Northeast Florida on 1010XL radio, video, and social channels.
All things Mia are driven by Arlington Toyota.
Hey, Hicken here with a message from Zero Res. Can you believe they've been cleaning carpets in Jacksonville now for 20 years? Dave Benyon, his family, and staff are so grateful of things and appreciate you, their great customers. In fact, October's birthday month for Zero Res. So what are we doing for customers? Just say happy birthday, Zero Res, and we'll give you $50 off. That's $50 off carpet, tile, and grout, upholstery, or area rugs. Zero Res, man. Spell it forwards or backwards. Zero Res. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
When you need a plumber,
Call Duck Duck Rooter.
when you need your septic tank pumped out,
Call Duck Duck Rooter.
when you need any septic or plumbing issue fixed right the first time.
Call Duck Duck Rooter.
Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing and Septic Services. DuckDuckRooter.com.
This is Hayes Carline for Kingfish Pest Control. Are you tired of spiders, ants, roaches, or other pests invading your home turf? Call the winning team at Kingfish Pest Control. I can tell you from my own experience, Kingfish will sack mosquitoes, tackle rodents, and intercept termites before they can blitz into your home. And right now, score 20% off your new pest control service when you start during the 2024 football season. Save big and defend your home with Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
When you head out for a night with friends or going to the big game, don't forget the best game plan to win the night is to designate a driver and guarantee a safe ride home. Hydrating between buds is the best play you can make. Bud Light, reminding all to drink wiser.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Want to grow your hair back?
IHRS, right here in Jacksonville, is the only hair transplant clinic in the country that offers multi-unit hair grafting, FUE Neograft hair transplants, and the 45-minute effective PRP treatments.
Multi-unit hair grafting gave me more hair in one procedure and within my budget.
Thank you, IHRS.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Schedule a free evaluation and find out how to grow your hair back and keep the hair you have. Call 904-777-IHRS. Take the first step to restoring your hair today. Visit hairforme.com.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
IHRS has been restoring hair for men and women for over 30 years.
Call now for a free in-person or virtual evaluation. 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Or visit hair4me.com.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Jaguars head coach Doug Peterson on the trade of Roy Robertson Harris to the Seahawks.
I appreciate everything Roy has done for me and this team for the last 3 years that I've been here. And as you guys know too, we were heavy at DT, and it just, the opportunity presented itself. This time of year, team needs around the league too. Injuries play a big part of things, and it was an opportunity for him and obviously for us to get something for it. And he's been a big part of that defense. I wish him well, but it's good for him.
The Jags got a 6th-round pick in return for Roy Robertson Harris. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
Thanks, Tony. You're bringing me down. Remind them we still have a primetime game left on the schedule this year. Sunday Night Football. I think the Eagles are wearing their Kelly greens in that one. I think that's their night. They're going to do throwbacks, right, Pockets?
That is correct. I believe so.
Yeah, and that is prior to the flex scheduling window, I believe.
The Jags getting the chance to wear the throwbacks against the Jets may be the last bright spot left in the year.
Yeehaw!
Right? We're kind of all at that point right now. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's week 9. That's the second game coming back from London, Sunday Night Football for the Jags. But, hey, for the rest of it, you don't have to worry about getting flexed into prime time. So if you make your plans around Jaguar football, isn't it nice of them to not have to adjust those?
No, sir. That ain't happening.
Wouldn't it be nice to have to adjust them in future seasons? At least we've got 3 decades to try to get back to relevance at some point in time. All right, let's go around the rest of the National Football League.
Now, gems around the NFL Brought to you by Beaches Jewelry and Pawn in Jacks Beach.
Houston is trading running back Cam Akers and a conditional 2026 seventh-round pick to the Minnesota Vikings
They
for
can't
a
quit him,
2026 conditional sixth-round pick. It certainly seems that way. The Buffalo Bills are sending a third-round pick and a 2026 seventh-round pick to Cleveland in exchange for wide receiver Amari Cooper and a sixth-round pick. The Bills are releasing wide receiver Marquez Valdez-Scantling as part of that move. Detroit and defensive lineman Aleem McNeil have agreed to a 4-year, $97 million deal with $55 million guaranteed. New York Giants offensive tackle Andrew Thomas is meeting with foot specialist Dr. Robert Anderson in Charlotte. If surgery is needed for the injury, it would end his season. Baltimore has signed Yannick Ngakoue to the active roster. San Francisco is signing safety Adrian Amos. Kansas City has opened the 21-day practice window for Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Pittsburgh quarterback Russell Wilson is getting first-team reps this week. Could make his Steelers debut against the Jets. The agents for New York Jets outside linebacker Hassan Reddick have been given permission by the team to seek a trade. Ian Rappaport reported yesterday that a few teams have reached out about a potential deal, and the Jaguars Stadium deal not the only business that got done at the owners' meetings yesterday. The league has approved Tom Brady's bid to purchase a minority ownership share in the Las Vegas Raiders. Brady will now hold a 5% ownership share along with his partner, so 10% going to him. I think it's Richard Seymour as the partner in Super Bowl 62 has been announced it will be hosted in Atlanta.
And part of the restrictions on Tom Brady as an owner is he cannot publicly speak poorly about another team. So how do you do your job? Like, isn't that a public broadcast that you're on? If somebody screws up, you're not allowed to point that out. I mean, I caught about 5 minutes of his act this week. Because I forget that he, I don't care. Yeah. We don't listen
We're busy
to
on game day. Yeah.
Right. But with the Jags playing early and getting home early, I can't, how many times he said, it's just fun. Detroit, it's just fun to watch. I'm like, oh, really? Like, I don't know. Just because you're a great player.
Mm-hmm. Football is fun.
Football's fun. It's just fun, guys. Hey, guys, isn't this fun to get paid $30 million a year to come in with no experience and kick everybody else
Somebody has to go
out of their spot? And, right, well, but now everything's going to be bubblegum with him.
Yeah.
Apparently. I don't know. Whatever.
We'll see. Yeah.
We'll see. I don't have to listen to it. And that's the great thing about it, right? If you don't like the Jaguars Stadium deal, you don't have to go. If you don't like the state of the team, you don't have to buy tickets. If you don't like the stress they cause you, turn your brain off when it comes to Jaguar
football.
football.
Something that doesn't stress you out.
It's your prerogative to do that. All right, let's get to, we want to get to today's question of the day. Let's get to today's 10-10 take.
10-10
take.
Now, Mike Dempsey's 10-10 take. Brought to you by
Double checked. Cybersecurity made simple.
All right. Before we get to the question of the day, which is other than Roy Robertson Harris, who do you think is a likely trade candidate or who else would be next to go for the Jaguars? Again, I just want to not let the moment go by without reflecting on it once again. The Jags are the Jacksonville Jaguars and will be for a long time. Hopefully it's a smooth sailing, as far as anyone listening to me for the rest of your natural life, your children's natural lives, whatever, as long as the NFL's around. Let's hope that there are Jacksonville Jaguars because you can't have good Jaguar football without having Jaguar football. And I get as frustrated as anybody else. I totally understand where it's coming from. I get the exasperation, all this. Oh, great, we get 30 more years of this crap. You don't have to love it. You don't have to even like it. You don't have to follow it.
You'll miss it if it was gone.
But at least you have the option.
Yeah.
Right? You have the option. And for that, yesterday was one of the most significant days. This offseason, into this season, still one of the most significant periods of time in Jaguar franchise history, no matter what the on-field record is. Now, it's a damn shame what the on-field record is. Tony, looking at this depth chart for the Jaguars, I mean, I think it comes to, if I'm going to pick one name of a guy, and I think you brought this up when we mentioned this the other day, Walker Little probably the one to me because you still have to go out and play football.
Yeah.
Right? Trevor Lawrence is still the future of this franchise, whether you like it or not, no matter how some of the more vehement detractors think that the Trevor era should be over. It's not, and it's not going to be for a while. So you still got to protect him. And clearly, they're saying through it all that Cam Robinson is a better player than Walker Little. That's how they feel. Otherwise, Walker Little would be playing ahead of Cam Robinson, period. And even when Cam struggled this year, they didn't go that route. Now Cam's been playing better lately. If you're not going to bring them both back, or if you're not, I mean, if
not
Walker
bringing
Little's
either back,
right, if Walker Little's not better than Cam, what is your interest in signing him to a long-term extension?
Right.
Then, so if you can get something for that guy, and if worse comes to worse, hey, Cole Van Lanen, come on down, right? I mean,
yeah,
it's not ideal, but.
Or you move Anton over to left and Cole plays right, whatever it was.
But either way, he'd be the next man up kind of thing. So, I don't think it'd be ETN, although I could understand.
ETN's even trickier now.
Right,
dealing with the hamstring and the shoulder, that's a lot.
And so I don't think there's any other offensive lineman or really any other guy. And maybe Christian Kirk.
A little bit of Christian Kirk.
His name's been bandied about a little bit, but again.
They only got him for the one more year. It would make sense if you're going to move on from it now would kind of be the time you do it, because then whoever you're trading them to does have that extra year of being able to control them, so you might be able to get a little bit more if you're willing to make that kind of move. And the team's in a position where those kind of things probably should be on the table, but I generally agree with you. If someone was going to get moved, I think it probably would be Walker.
Several people mentioned Cisco or Devin Lloyd, and I just look at it and say, who's going to give you anything for those guys? Nothing for those guys. They have to be playing better. Like, at least with Walker Little, you could say, out of sight, out of mind. We got some film on him. We've seen him play reasonably effectively at times.
Yeah.
If somebody gets an injury and loses their left tackle, or their right tackle for that matter, they say, hey, can we rent this guy for a what? I don't know. At this rate, it'd be like a 6th-round pick in whenever the Jaguar Stadium deal runs out. What, 2050 something?
Yeah.
But hey, that 5th GM from now or 10th GM from now will really benefit from that, Tony, when we're in the 14 round NFL draft.
I think a healthy ETN would have made this interesting, right? If the team was 1-5 and ETN was healthy, I think he would be a guy that probably would draw some trade interest, but I do think dealing with a couple of injuries right now, it's unclear when he's going to be back on the field, even for the football team. I think all those complicated to a point where that option I think is off the table.
Look, the thing with Kirk, I mean, you could play Parker Washington there as kind of the heir apparent and roll with it. And again, it's not like they're winning a bunch of games. I'm not saying that would be a definitive thing that they would do, because I do believe, somebody said, I saw yesterday.
It's not crazy as an option.
The media tried to sell us that it was a good deal on Christian Kirk. Christian Kirk has outplayed his deal.
Absolutely.
If you don't think he has, then you really don't understand the finances of that position in the National Football League. There are a lot of bad deals that have been given out to players. That was not one of them.
No.
He has played. Now, at the time, it was eye-opening. Will he play to that level? Because it was a projection, and I think he has. And Christian Kirk has meant a lot to this football team. He hasn't played his best football at times this year. But I still think the value of those offensive linemen, that's where, if there's going to be one, I think that's likely where it comes. All right, let's welcome in Helmets and Heels.
Now, the 2-minute drill, brought to you by Injury Care Centers, the exclusive provider of BioTarget regenerative therapy for pain. Visit GoBioTarget.com for a location near you.
All right, Taylor Dahl, hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Yeah. Not bad. Whatever. I mean, life goes on, and we show up, and it's
the team's here for 30 more years. We're in an okay
say.
mood, and all things considered.
We're locked into bad Jaguar football for Nick.
Yeah, that's what I liked your tweet yesterday, though, Mike, when you said bad football is better than no football. There's a lot of places around the country who would love to have a professional football team in their city, and so I know it's not always the most fun to watch, and it gets a little frustrating sometimes, but you're really lucky. You're one of 30 to be able to have a team, and now you have this team for a long time coming.
Look, it's not ideal. Nobody's choosing bad football. I mean, good football is still the better option, right? But you have a chance to have good football. Yeah. The possibility exists that they can stumble into a good season or 3 along the way in the next 30 years. So I'm hoping they do, but that moment should not pass without realizing what an accomplishment it was through all the dark era of the Jaguars were the face of, if you need a franchise, we'll do L.A., we'll send them to San Antonio, we'll send them to London, we'll send them to the moon,
They were
wherever.
talking about Chicago getting a second NFL team at one point.
We'll take
for that.
them. We're gonna go to St. Louis, remember, because that's where Shad Khan wanted to own a team. Buffalo's going to go to Toronto, and then we'll go to Buffalo. There were all these things were brought up, and they can all shove it. at this point in time. So what will the trio of helmets and heels be discussing today?
Yeah, so we are going to get into that, obviously, some of the stadium stuff. We'll also talk about, we had a conversation yesterday on Trevor Lawrence, and it got out on social media, and some of the fans reacted. So we'll get into some of that, because we are pretty much saying if you think that Trevor Lawrence was the problem this last Sunday, then you weren't watching the game well enough, or good enough, or you were looking at the box score at the end and didn't watch, because Trevor was not the issue. There has been moments this year, we could say the Texans game, when there was a lot of bad throws, but this last Sunday was not Trevor Lawrence, and so we were making that comment. Some people on social media wanted to go a different route with it, and so we're going to talk a little bit more about those reactions to some of the people when it comes to Trevor Lawrence and the team right now. We also have Bob Sochi. He's the radio voice for the Patriots. He's going to join us today to preview this Jags-Pats game, and Drake May. We'll see how that goes this weekend. So, yeah, a lot of Jaguars football still. We have a lot of season left.
Well, look, Trevor, it was 8-3 touchdown interception ratio, right? Mahomes is 6-6.
Yeah.
But their defense has played great. So everyone was like, "Damn that Mahomes, man! He finds a way to win." He's built up the equity that he can do that. But if you look at just how he's actually playing, the defense has carried the Chiefs this year.
Yeah.
Wish we had the defense carrying us this year. I'd be fine with that. I don't care.
Definitely.
Just win some damn games.
You want one at some point, one of the sides of the ball has to carry, usually for teams, and to have one of those be able to do it. Right now, unfortunately, neither side of the ball of Jacksonville can carry the other side. And
Special
that's
team.
Special.
Yeah, the Jags just wait to see which side breaks first, and then the other breaks soon after that. That's all this team
You
is.
or me this week? Which one? I don't know.
Taylor, have a good show.
Thank you.
Thank you. Tomorrow, Breakfast Bowl, I'm buying. I think First Watch. Hey, you want First Watch? How's that sound? Is that all right? You don't like First Watch?
I'll say free food, Mike.
Never mind.
You do what you got to do. I'll let you know.
Chick-fil-A is easier. It's on
Chick-fil-A,
I don't
I
have to
would
make a
vote for.
Yui.
First Watch it is.
All right.
Over and out.
I ain't going to two places there, Pockets.
I hear you.
All right. Breakfast Bowl tomorrow. D-Rock will be in, and we'll soldier on, because that's what we do around these parts. Glad to have Jaguar football in whatever state locked in for decades to come here in Jacksonville, FLA. Stick around for Helmets and Heels next on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
The Maxwell House coffee will live on forever.
Jaguars Today from